Hey YouTube, so recently I did some mixed weapon sparring. I was using a one-handed sword and my opponent was using a two-handed sword, which is about 6 inches longer than my blade, and to my opponent's surprise I actually had significantly more reach than they did. I could hit them while being out of distance and safe from their attacks. And this really surprised them. They just couldn't understand what the hell was going on, how I could possibly be doing this. So I'll explain this to you. One-handed swords don't necessarily have less reach than a two-handed sword, even when the blade is significantly shorter, and it all comes down to how you hold it. So with a one-handed sword, you can be completely in profile and have the sword straight out in front, but you can't hold a two-handed sword like that because your hand, it just won't reach. So of course what you have to do is to rotate the shoulder back in order to get hold of it, and this makes far more difference than you would intuitively think. So let's actually have a look at this. So this is the furthest I can reach with two hands, just get right onto it. And if I switch onto one hand, absolutely colossal difference there. So, okay, probably not an absolutely perfect measurement, but it should be close enough. Let's measure this. So with one hand, that's an extra 11 inches I've got just from switching to profile and being able to extend the shoulder fully forward. Now obviously if you're shorter than me, or you've got shorter arms or narrower chest, it may be a little bit less than this, but even if you're a really small guy, it's still probably going to make at least 8 inches of difference to your range. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're sparring. If you've got a two-handed weapon and somebody else has a one-handed weapon, they actually have quite a deceptively larger amount of range than you would intuitively think. I was just about to set this video live, but then I realised there's a couple of other things which I forgot to mention, a couple of little exceptions to what I just said. And they are, first off, the hand and the arm, they move with the blade, so no matter what position your arm's in, with this 35-inch blade, my hand's always about 35 inches away from the tip of my blade, and so even if you are holding a sword with two hands, as long as the blade is 36 or 37 inches, you're going to be safe to snipe at my hand while being out of distance. So that's one exception, and of course there's also two-handed techniques which do have more range, such as thrust singles, where you let go with one hand, and obviously doing that gives you lots of extra range as well. But apart from that, assuming that the two-handed swordsman is using the sword in two hands all the time, and the one-handed swordsman is holding the sword in one hand all the time, someone, if they're my height, they would have about 11 inches more range than you would expect them to have with that one-handed sword. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.